The reclassification is due to the use of the word. News came out late yesterday that Mary Poppins is being changed. As in the UK, it has discriminatory language. So now it's more or less in the US, it would be like a G. Now it's getting rated PG. Over in Europe, there's like a U rating. Now it's being rated PG. So parental guidance is advised for Mary Poppins, a movie about a chimney sweeper and a lovely
nanny
dancing with penguins. Now, cartoon penguins is now. We got to get our parents out. Chris, did you see this news story?
I did not, but I'll just say this is not a surprise. So much of Disney's history now, when you look at like their older films, comes with some sort of trigger warning. There's one on Peter Pan. There's one on like Lady and the Tramp. I mean, we basically have leaned into the stupidity of so many people that don't understand humor, that don't understand context, and live in a world of presentism where we judge, we're judging art from the past by our present point of views. I remember when I was a kid, it was a weird thing that I would watch movies. I would watch black and white movies when I was a kid because those were old films from the 1940s, 1930s. One of the things I observed was in order to calm a woman down, just slap her in the face and shake her and tell her to calm down. Now, I thought that was weird, but I didn't think I wanted to cancel the movie or whatever. I understood that like that was probably not a good thing to do, but it's because I have a brain and I think. A lot of the people that are, I don't know that anyone is asking for these trigger warnings. I think this is something it's an effort actually to erase pop culture history. The sanitization of books is an abomination. Why is this not being, where's the outrage for all of this? It's ridiculous. And most recently, HBO Max, and they did this a while ago, but people just noticed it. We did a video on it, Blazing Saddles, which is a brilliant movie written by Mel Brooks and Richard Pryor. Richard Pryor is a black comedian for those who don't know his work. He wrote the movie, and Blazing Saddles is a movie that mocks racism, but they use the N-word quite a bit in this film. It's a way to mock it. There is a whole video intro that you on Max, if you can watch Blazing Saddles, but you have to suffer through a whole intro explaining it in historical context.
Really?
Yes, you can you can find it. It's on Max right now. Wow. We are bending the bell curve towards the idiots. And I'm done. My tolerance for idiots. This is again another reason why Melanie Mack's my hero, because you do not suffer fools. You don't care. Me, I post and ghost. I don't even engage with a lot of these people because they're so stupid, or I mock them in a way where they don't even know they're being mocked. And it's like, wait, was that a joke? It's like, yes, this is how humor works. So my tolerance level for the intolerant is done. I'm just done with it. I've reached a breaking point because you kind of think, oh, that's just a kid. They'll figure it out. Or this is someone who's maybe they're new to X and they don't know irony. They don't get things, or they can't read context or sarcasm. And I've have always been, I've seen, because I started doing TV in the late 90s. So I'm the same now as I was back then, as the same as I was in the early 90s. I am a sarcastic a-hole. And if you haven't noticed that, I do care about, I want to entertain people, kind of make you laugh, maybe make you think. The think part is optional. But it really is irritating. This Mary Poppins changing the rating on it is ridiculous. And that people can't understand that it's so offensive to me, these types of things, the Blazing Saddle ones in particular, because that movie is so much. As a kid, I loved that movie because it was the first movie I ever saw that had a fart joke in it. And they cut, when they played it on television, they cut the farts but it came out in re-release. I got to see it with their eating beans at the campfire and you hear farts. Okay. Juvenile sense of humor. I will say this. Farts are still funny, even at my age. Okay. I still think farts are funny. I think it's a man thing.
No,
Maybe men
no,
are
no.
predisposed to laugh at farts.
Everybody likes farts. Everybody likes boobs. That's it. It's really true.
That's how we bond.
Yeah, it's true. You may be asking yourself, why did they reclassify?
Yeah.
Okay. The reclassification is due to the use of the word Hottentots. The dated term was historically used by Europeans to refer to the Ko, a group of nomadic herders in South Africa, but is now regarded as racially offensive. Hottentots. So,
wow.
Mel, anytime you want to say your gamer word, you can just say Hottentots.
Hottentots. All right, there we go. I'll be using that one.
When was this said in the movie? I don't even remember that line.
I don't either.
Nobody does, but hey, let's change it, which is crazy. Yeah, so there you go. Now we're not done yet because there's also been censoring of another movie which came out in the last 6 months or so as Mean Girls. The new Mean Girls reboot has also been edited, and a joke referencing the term fire crotch has been removed from the digital version after Lindsay Lohan publicly took issue with it. So you can't say fire crotch anymore.
I never knew what fire crotch was. I'm
I
not
don't
sure
either.
But I love the term. I may have to use it a lot. Fire crotch. That is what's evil. That's what's evil about all these digital movies that are coming out. You can change them. So even if you bought and purchased a digital film, they can upload a new master file and change the movies. This is Orwellian. This is 1984 stuff. It's disgusting. So, and this is why you need to buy and treasure your physical media now. I think there's a whole move towards that. And it's interesting how tactile physical things like, albums, vinyl has made a comeback. I think 4K Blu-rays are big. And this censoring that from the theatrical, and I saw Mean Girls, it was whatever. I'm not the target audience. That's all I'll say. But it was fine. And I actually don't mind musicals. I like musicals actually. But yeah, no, that's kind of ridiculous. And bowing to the mob. And when I say mob, not just the mob online, you're talking about underlings that work at these companies. Okay. So we're talking about the underlings and middle management, and upper management doesn't have a backbone to say no, or to fire people. There's so much happening in the film industry now where the people that are veterans that have worked forever, there's a younger generation that's sort of coming up. They're all tattletales. They're all hypersensitive tattletales. I could tell you so many stories since we started exposing this stuff on Film Threat, the website and the YouTube channel. We started exposing this stuff, and people have come forward to me with the dumbest stories. And it's all about, why are you? I would fire these people. Yeah. I would fire these people and get rid of them. If you're going to complain about it, go away. Because what it does is it puts shackles on creators to live in fear of a joke that's a certain way, or everything is sort of parsed out. No. Be done with it. And upper management's got to get a backbone and just fire the people who complain so that they get the message that your intolerance is not tolerated.
Yeah. And speaking of tattletales, it's like back in the day, we made fun of tattletales. It's like, you didn't want to do that. There's that Randall character on Recess who would go to what was her? Was she the professor, that old lady, or was she the principal?
And he would just principal.
Yeah, and he would just have his little notepad and he would observe everything everyone was doing and tattle on people. And now all of these cancel pigs online, like they're all Randalls and they have no shame about it. I don't get it.
Well, that's the thing is, they don't have power over you. Other people give them power.
Yeah.
Right? They have no power. So when you give them power, they're effing mad and they're not worth paying attention to. So I'm just disgusted by all this stuff. It really is irritating that, and this has happened across everything. It's happened in journalism, in media, in video games, in movies, in TV, in everywhere are tolerating this new generation's sense of entitlement, narcissism, and intolerance. And be done. I mean, it used to be the phrase, don't trust anyone over 30. I don't trust anyone under 30. And
Right.
I've had so many I've had so many bad experiences. We used to hire interns all the time.
Except Blabs. We trust you, Blabs.
Yes, we trust Blabs.
Thanks.
Yeah, we're still working on that. I don't know.
But it's this new generation has just, I don't know why we're bowing to their wishes. Just no. You want to hang, you want to have an adult job and get a paycheck. You're gonna, this is what you're gonna do. You're not here to tattle on people. So I don't know why that decision was made, and that's probably the more interesting part of that story.
What is the over under on Kindergarten Cop getting a warning on it? For boys have a penis, girls have a vagina. Like one of the greatest lines in cinematic history.
There's another conversation about that in Life of Brian as well, that just predicted. Have you seen that clip where they talk about like one of the characters in it that's like an apostle is like, you know, look, I want it's a man saying, but I want the right to be able to get pregnant. And it goes, and it's the dumbest conversation. It's just like, oh, this was like in the 80s, right? Like it's so fun. I grew up watching Monty Python, but also back to the thing about what was that phrase, the slur, tater?
Hottentot.
Okay.
Yes.
I grew up in Michigan, okay, just outside of Detroit, suburbs of Detroit. My family's Polish and Russian, German, English, Irish. I'm like, Europe had an orgy. Okay, so I'm all those different things, but Polish, I was a Polak. I heard so many Polish jokes when I was a kid, but I was proud of my Polish heritage. We ate pierogis and guamki, and you'd hear the, you know, how many Polacks does it take to screw in a light bulb, jokes like that. I didn't care. It was just like, whatever. I'm proud of being Polish, but it didn't bug me, right? So I don't know, like how deep are we going to go? And it's usually when you drill down, it's always white women, white female progressives that are the ones pushing it. It's always that group that are sort of like, on behalf of the so-called offended group, we're going to fight because we want to be saviors. It's so annoying.
Oh, yeah.
It literally is. I have a friend, he is of Indian descent. He is a director. He does commercials and whatnot. And I don't want to say his name, but good friend of mine. And he's constantly saying they're the ones that are ruining the industry. They're the ones that are pushing all this stuff. It's not, quote, POCs. It's this particular group of people.
The irony of all that is that if they were fired, then it would be so much more diverse. That's the irony of the whole thing, right? Like you get rid of all of them, and then all of a sudden, Black people, Asian, they all have more jobs. There you go. Congratulations. And everything goes back to normal, which is great.